Anish Kapoor, thanks so much for giving us some of your time. You've been honored as one of India's global living legends by NDTV. What does this mean to you, mean for you?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I think in a way it's nice to be claimed. The questions before me are always the same ones. You know, I have to go into my studio and make the next day's work. I'm very much an artist who, where studio practice is what it's about for me. So I'm, you know, there working every day, and you know, ideas arrive out of the process, and that's my main focus.
You talked about the lack of institutions and institutional support in India for art. India likes to claim people like you as our own, but you've made Great Britain your home. You've lived abroad all these years. Do you see yourself as an Indian artist? Do you see yourself as a British artist? Do you see yourself as a citizen of the world?
I see myself as an artist, but I'm Indian, and it matters hugely to me. You know, that's the core of my being. My whole, if you like, mythological interior is deeply Indian. So of course it comes out in spite of myself in what I do, but I do not seek it. I do not seek to make whatever it is that we call Indian art. That's you know, I don't believe it's possible, frankly. I think what it does is make poor pastiche. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to make Indian art. I want to be an artist and make what comes. It'll be Indian if it is, and if it isn't, it isn't.
Right.
I mean, I don't think, you know, today, in today's India, huge advances are being claimed for Indian business and Indian entrepreneurial energy. But we seem to have forgotten culture.
Right.
We seem, you know, we all define ourselves as Indians through our culture, and yet we don't give a proper forum to those who, amongst us, who make serious endeavor.
Do you also see it as, in a sense, that we don't celebrate our own artistic endeavors? For example, what you're talking about when we're making strides in business and other areas. There's also, in the West, for example, philanthropic work that takes place side by side with corporate work, where big business also promotes the arts, in a sense.
I mean, you know, I don't know how many Indian billionaires there are. There are quite a few of them.
Yes.
I doubt that there are more than one or two who make any significant approach to contemporary culture. I don't know. I think we have to be very clear. I mean, I'm clear that today is better than yesterday.
Yes.
You know, definitely. Today is much better than yesterday. And cultural confidence, this idea that what we do, what we invent today, has the power and root and the roots of what we invented, or what that steps beyond, in some ways, even what was invented yesterday. And I think we are confused in our contemporary Indianness as to, you know, what is Indian culture? Where is it?
Right.
Can we allow it to be contemporary? And the moment we'll only know this when we really can allow it to be contemporary.
So I think the follow-up question to that is twofold. One is, what do you think is the way forward in order for us to harness, in a sense, India's soft power that we do talk about? That's one. And secondly, when you talk about Indian culture, culture is also deeply political in this country. How do you think spaces are created then?
Well, I'm saying that it's about confidence, not about old and new, and not about politics and not politics. Of course, culture is political, absolutely correct. But confidence we lack. What we say is it's fine if it's you know, classical singing, or if it's you know, I don't know, Bharatanatyam,
right,
etc. But what we are not able to say with the same conviction is, we believe in modern architecture. And by saying that, we build buildings that are properly modern, or we believe in, I don't know, the reinvention of dance as a contemporary form. We just somehow don't have the same ability. Americans do it with great ease, perhaps because they don't have the burden of that weight, that long weight of cultural practice for all that long time. We have to somehow galvanize all of that and say, in fact, it makes us richer, not poorer.
Right. Also, in a sense, people who have tried to be outside the box, in a sense, when it comes to art and culture, have been targeted politically in this country as well. We talked about M.F. Hussain in the forum. You've spoken out against Narendra Modi, who's a prime ministerial candidate. How do you reconcile these two forces that actually are colliding with each other, in a sense, when it comes to modern India today?
Well, I don't know that you do, frankly. I think what you do is recognize that there's going to be collision and not back off. Keep with a course of collision. Collision, after all, is very creative.
Yes.
I mean, I think that is the one of the key points.
So,
sorry, I haven't answered your question again, because I don't think there is an answer, really. I mean, I think, we can't give in to the forces of conservatism. We have to be able to assert that it's through looking at the old and washing it out and turning it upside down and being irreverent to it that we come up with something new. If we're always holy and like this with the old, we're dead.
So do you think in the current political climate there's space for that, or there will be space for that?
Well, I think we have to demand the space. I don't need permission from anybody. I'll do it anyway.
Irrespective of which political party reacts?
Irrespective.
Because you've spoken against...
I think one has to be absolutely clear about that. Sorry, I'm not in military school. I'm not, that's not only the freedom I'm given, it's the freedom I claim. And I think we have to do that with full commitment.
Right.
I mean, I think that's an argument that goes outside of education, outside of all our encumberments of caste and social hierarchy and so on. It's a freedom we have to claim again and again and again. And every generation will reclaim it and needs to reclaim it.
Right. You exhibited a couple of years ago at the National Gallery of Modern Art.
I did.
In Delhi.
Yeah.
You have these gorgeous, larger-than-life installations across the globe. Your art is very public. It's for ordinary people to come and make of it what they will, I suppose is the way to describe it. Do you wish that you could have some sort of an installation like the Sky Mirror, for example, or the Cloud installation in Chicago, somewhere in the country? And if so, what kind of place would you pick for something like that?
No, that's to ask me where I would pick, I don't know. Of course, I'd love to do something like this in India, because I feel it's a sort of coming home, a sort of bringing home. Now, where it'll happen, how it'll happen, who knows? We'll see. I mean, I must say that even the show at the NGMA here in Delhi a couple of years ago was entirely funded by the British Council. Which in a way is slightly sad. Of course, it's expensive and difficult to do to bring big sculpture, across from Europe here. We have to help through, I think, again, through these questions about confidence. Money is not really the issue. The issue is more to do with governance and to do with how we set up forums in order to enable things to happen, to emerge. Artists most definitely, I said this on the panel and I'll say it again, artists most definitely are not born. Nobody's born a great artist. It's not possible. artists are made and make themselves. And how do you make? What does it mean? It means support. You know, it's in the Renaissance, just as an example, it is great patrons and great artists. They go together. You never say the one without the other. And so there's a kind of flowering. We have that happen at various points in Indian history. You know,
Yes.
The great parlor artists of the 9th century, 10th century, etc. They may be unnamed, but there was huge support that gave this huge flowering. The number of works that were made were, in the hundreds of thousands, etc. So I think that we live in an age when that doesn't happen is shameful. I mean, we are more prosperous than we've ever been, and we do less for culture.